It's the 19th of March, 2020. We are in the midst of what I would consider is probably one of the scariest times anyone in my generation will have to live through. And I don't necessarily say that lightly. I'm also not just talking about the deathly virus that is spreading rapidly across the globe. So I've been wanting to bring back this weekly vlog for a while, and no time's kind of felt more right than the present. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like I'd be cheating myself if I didn't document what was happening in terms of the way that we're, dealing with the situation. There are lots of things to talk about. There are lots of perspectives to share. And I think with the internet being what it is, with YouTube being what it is, I think it's a great time to really capture that perspective from, lots of different angles, whether or not that's for people to watch on a weekly basis as these videos get uploaded, but maybe more as a reminder of what we've had to deal with. And we can look back on this and think, wow, we really did endure this really bizarre situation that we are in, that none of us ever thought we'd be in. I think there's a lot to be said for someone having the ability to capture the situation, to tell a story. And I feel that by having that ability, I almost have like a responsibility to be able to actually capture it rather than just having the ability. There's more of a responsibility to capture what is currently going on. I'll tell you one thing, working from home is very lonely. That is for sure. Well, it's a bit weird. Working from home is extremely isolated, even with something like Microsoft Teams, Skype, Discord, whatever you're using. It's still incredibly isolated. So I've just come to make myself some coffee because nothing makes things better like a cup of coffee. Cheers. Were you eating Bambi's food? Were you eating Bambi? I've literally just given you a lecture about eating Bambi's food, and you just don't come crawling back to me. Could you just could you? Could you just? This dog, honestly.
Good boy. Good boy. You're saying so good at talking now. I know what to do it myself when you can.
Come on, B. Alright, so that clip was first thing this morning, just before Bella went off to work. Now, Bella is a teacher, so in the current situation, the current state of the world in England, schools are technically closed, but not for the vulnerable kids and for the families of those who are key workers in keeping this country running and treating its patients. Therefore, anyone like a delivery driver, NHS, police, they'll have kids who need to be looked after whilst they continue to serve this country and keep it a safe place. So what they've done is they've closed schools. However, there are now skeleton staff open at, I'd say, probably all schools. Now, although there are skeleton staff, it doesn't mean that they have to be in 24/7. So Bella, for instance, next week is in on a Monday and a Thursday. And also over the weekend, she hasn't got to do any of the planning that she would normally do for the coming weeks because it's all been done already. So the comment of, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do this weekend, that just happened, is a great little setup for the fact that actually, Bella, you're going to be playing Animal Crossing and you don't know it yet. Switch arrives this morning with Animal Crossing. I'm going to get it all set up. I've also already got Bella an extra set of Joy-Cons. I've bought Mario Kart, I've got a case and a screen protector, so I've got all the essentials for Switch ownership, and I just can't wait for her to walk in after I've picked her up, because we're not doing buses because buses are bad. Germ little bubbles of disgustingness breeding the coronavirus. It's going to be a really great surprise. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, yeah, I'm in my dressing gown because I'm working from home. I don't want to have the heating on all the time because money. Arlo tends to come and like sleep on my feet in my office. So yeah, anyway, that's 5 minutes break from actually working done. I'm going to go back and carry on with my actual day job. Quite an odd experience. So the postman arrived, knocked on the door, and I opened it, and the postman was stood at the bottom of the steps because obviously, so he'd left this and my coffee, which are these here, all of which has been wiped over with an antibacterial wipe. I want to open this because I need to get it updated for when Bella's home. Here we have probably the main reason that I actually wanted this particular Switch. These two Joy-Cons, which in my opinion are the best coloured Joy-Cons that they've actually released so far. So we've got the Joy-Cons, the actual main part of the Switch, which is this. Even got an Animal Crossing back, I didn't know that. Under here we have a download code for Animal Crossing. We have the bumpers for the Joy-Cons. We have HDMI and power. How sick is that? That is the new Animal Crossing. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get all this plugged in and updated. Let's have some fun. Turn around.
What's all that?
Turn around. This has been the hardest secret to keep.
I just saw that on the table.
You weren't supposed to come in with stuff.
I didn't know.
These are for you.
When did you get that?
I pre-ordered it like 2 months ago. How great is that? Look at it.
Why is the camera filming?
She's already seen it. She's fully aware. She's been torturing you this entire time on purpose.
Why have you left the TV on?
I haven't actually booted up Animal Crossing yet either, because you have to like select your person. I know it is, and yeah, it was so funny this morning. You said, "Oh, I've no idea what I'm going to do this weekend," and I was like,
When did that arrive?
today, because today's release day, so it always arrives on release day. So yeah,
I can't believe it.
there you go. You have Animal Crossing now. This is what you wanted. I mean, I have a Switch, but you have Animal Crossing.
It's the coolest Switch ever.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's got a little... Okay.
Last night there was another press conference, and the government advised that they were going to be paying 80% of salaries up to, I think it was 2,500 in a month. So that's kind of good news for all of those people who have either been laid off or are now out of work under full-time employment. However, it doesn't answer the question really for self-employed people, so we'll wait and see if they'll get any anything from the government like everybody else does. I have so many friends who are self-employed business owners that could really use a little bit of help at this time. But in the meantime, I guess the best thing to do is just to support those local businesses as best you can. For instance, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and as we aren't going to go and see our mums on Mother's Day, we've both ordered a afternoon tea for delivery straight to the house from a small local company, which is probably the best thing to do. If you have a look around, there'll be loads of online places probably posting on Facebook at this time. Just have a look around, speak to other members of your community. You know, recommendations go a long way. If, like me, you really enjoy coffee, then consider supporting your local coffee shops by picking up some coffee beans or some coffee grounds from them, as I'm assuming most of you will probably have some form of coffee making device at home that will need something. So consider getting it from there rather than getting it from somewhere like Asda or Tesco. Just injects a little bit of fund into the independent coffee businesses and also the whole production chain itself. We're actually off out for a walk now, and we're going to meet up with both of our parents, but at a safe distance. We're basically just going to the same place and going to wave at each other and shout at each other from a distance to say hello, but that's about it. So that's going to be fun. We'll see how that goes. So life is extremely weird right now. We've met up with the parents, and well, obviously we're keeping our distance. Cass is popping one out. Why not? Where are we going? Are we going this way? Yeah. So yeah, we've had to wave instead of hugging today, which is a rather bizarre occurrence. You have to do what you got to do what you got to do. Nana's hanging back all the way back there. This is all good. It's all good fun and games, isn't it?
Anyway, Chelsea last night was really eerie and scary because there's a place where there's always packed pubs, packed restaurants, and there was no one. There was one pub that had loads of people in it.
Yeah, just one. Yeah, I think people have been doing like a one last time type thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Aren't we a right rabble, all spread out, socialising with each other somehow? We're probably a bit closer than we should be. Oh, I don't mean about the coronavirus, you just smell.
I just smell. Yeah, I probably do. I've been working out in my gym.
Your home gym. Yeah, at least you have weights. I don't have any weights. Alright, so we're wrapping this up now, and the sun keeps on coming and going behind clouds, and I am struggling to keep the exposure. I wouldn't suggest anyone does this. However, if you are a little bit stir crazy, just get out, go into nature. You probably can't hear me because of the road, but it was nice to see everyone, nice to see my parents, nice to see Bella's parents, nice to walk the dogs somewhere other than our lake.